Welcome back to Softcore History. I'm your host for the week, Dan Register, joined as always by Rob Fox.
What's going on?
Hey, Rob.
How you doing?
Said you're feeling good.
Yeah, I got some big news.
Fourth kid?
No. I would kill myself. That you wouldn't. You would find out the news via my obituary.
That'd be great news for me.
Because the only way I can afford a fourth child is for my life insurance to kick in.
Well, the life insurance would also... I took a policy out on you as well,
perfect.
so
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to do this anymore.
Everyone would just... everyone would just be a whole lot better off if I'd never been born. That's what it is. That's what I... Got a little wonderful life
Yeah.
thing there.
I understand that.
No, told my wife the other day, I was like, you got to get a job. These kids are too goddamn
Your wife got a job.
No, well, better yet than that. She comes back out and she's like, okay, I will actually start working on selling ads for you guys. I will fully start contacting advertisers. And so you're not just having to do it yourselves in your spare time.
Okay.
I got all day.
So she has a hobby.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it benefits us.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, if she's good at her hobby.
If she doesn't do it, then I'm going to be back to, I think it's time to feed the children.
Now she just has an excuse to not look after the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's us.
Look, if it's getting fucking boner pills and protein supplements on
we'll
this
do
show,
it, yeah.
That's all I want.
It's the American dream.
What kind of advertisers do you want? I was like, I don't know, just Google boner and, gains.
Mm-hmm. We're also joined by one Mr. Scott Lopez.
Hey!
Hot dog suit.
I'm also doing really fucking good right now.
Your fucking car broke down on the way here.
As I pulled into the parking lot, my car once again broke down after it being in the shop for the last 2 weeks. And, yeah, that's a lot of fucking money.
Here's what I think you should do with that car now, at this point. Get it fixed-ish, just so it moves, and then use it as a tank in paintball.
Ah, yes.
And the only way to kill a tank in paintball is to build a pretty big potato gun. I'm talking about some hefty PVC pipe, and you fire a full paint can out of it, and it's got to hit the tank.
Ooh, I was thinking more of like a drone. Cover a drone in paint, fly the drone into the Kia.
Also works. Yeah.
Just have somebody blow up your car. Collect the insurance.
Like
money.
regular paintballs
I'm
don't
about
work.
to do that with myself in it because it's not fun.
Okay. So 2 suicidal co-hosts with me today.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I was doing great until
that's-
30 minutes ago.
I only said I'd commit suicide if my wife has another kid, but she's got an IUD, so I'm good.
Solve that problem.
Yeah.
That's news.
It's good news, too. It helps
Tell
me.
the world.
It helps me a lot, too, because,
Little piece of plastic in your wife.
if we do get, divorced or, God forbid, she passes away, I feel like a big cock block for me back on the open market would be that I couldn't provide another woman with children. I wouldn't do it, but I would want them to think I might. But with the vasectomy, there's just I wouldn't lie about it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't lie about having a vasectomy. So just keeps doors open.
Yeah. You don't have to spend a weekend with peas on your nuts.
Also that, yeah. With my children absolutely stomping their feet straight into my nutsack.
Just jumping
Pain
right
or
into your
whatever.
lap.
I mean, they do it every day. The amount of times I've been hitting the ball, I shouldn't be able to have children. They just take abuse constantly.
Abuse your children back, dude.
Yeah, that's what I have to do. I do push them a lot. Not hard, but enough to make them, fall backwards. Get off of my balls, please. Just go. And they fall on their butt, and they're like, ha, 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 ha. And then they pop back up and just start stomping the grapes again like a fucking Italian woman in a bucket.
Not quite as bad of abuse as us on the Patreon playing the game Successors,
Yeah.
but close.
That was, we should do that to, terrorists we capture.
I had a fun time spectating that. I thought it was great.
Did you? We
Yeah.
couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Because we were in hell.
It's maybe the worst board game I've ever played.
We
and you can
literally-
check it out on the Patreon, patreon.com/softcorehistory, or you can check it out right now because, Scott, we're playing Successor. No,
Yes!
that is not today's episode. Actually, today's episode is a pretty minuscule event, all things considered. Happened during the Civil War.
That's what we specialize in.
The characters, they're not major players.
What do we just can do Gettysburg today? This feels
No,
like I'm about to get out.
this means nothing in the
Grand
actual
scheme
war.
of the war. Has
Yeah.
no effect on it.
No.
Okay. but does it start it?
No,
Okay.
but it is a funny story.
Okay. I didn't know if we are going to get a switcheroo or not. Because Fort Sumter really had no effect on the war, except for starting it. But nothing happened.
We're going to go into the kind of backstory of two major characters of this specific story, and then we're going to get into the actual plot of what they did.
Okay. Sweet.
So let's just get into it. George Hollins was born in Baltimore, Maryland on September 20th, 1799. His uncle was Major General Samuel Smith, a hero of the Baltimore defense during the British attack in September of 1814.
So, when the Star Spangled Banner was written.
Mm-hmm.
Fort McHenry.
Smith arranged his nephew George's appointment as a midshipman that very same year. Hollins was first detailed in the USS Erie. When Erie failed to escape the British blockade at the Chesapeake Capes, Hollins transferred to the USS President, commanded by Commodore Stephen Decatur.
Which, it's the early 1800s. Obviously, you need tweens in your military.
Mm-hmm. Working the docks.
Yeah. So
Working the
he's like
ships.
15 probably, right? 50, either way.
Well, he was born in 99.
Yeah, so he's about 15, 14 years old. You need those people.
Decatur attempted to break out from New York with his squadron up the Long Island Sound in January of 1815. During a heavy snowstorm, the president ran aground and was captured by several British warships. Hollins was a POW in Bermuda with Decatur, and of course, the War of 1812 ends a month later.
Officially,
In February, yeah.
that's when they signed the Treaty of Ghent, right?
Yeah.
But it still kept going because the Battle of New Orleans happens after that. And you got to think what? There were POWs for months afterwards.
News travels slowly.
Yeah, the news travel. I wonder what that POW is like because we just did an episode on American Revolutionary War POWs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that more POWs died in the American Revolution? American POWs died in the American Revolution than on all the battlefields combined.
I don't think there was rules back then, so I guess it makes sense.
Oh boy, it was a straight up float. It was a floating concentration camp.
There was no like, oh, we should treat them good.
Yeah.
They're like, no, dude, fuck.
Well,
you.
they actually there were rules, but they were like, you're not real combatants because you're rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, whoa, that makes sense. That's
So-
why we have Guantanamo Bay right now,
Yeah,
because they're like Taliban isn't really
They're
an
not really
army, I guess.
we're just paying it forward.
Yeah.
And one day when the Taliban is the greatest nation on earth, soon, hopefully.
About 50 years or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll pay it forward to like a German resistance group that's tired of like being oppressed by, some Islamic caliphate that's swept over the globe.
And they're all wearing rollerblades.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that'd
how
be they get
so
you. Sick, dude.
That's the next blitzkrieg.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Do you know how hard it would be for a drone to get you if you're blading?
Dude, and they're just like high on opium. It's like the drone takes like 5 drones just to kill you
Yeah.
because you just don't feel anything.
Nah.
You keep going. Yeah.
It's all a dream.
Yeah, modern problems require throwback solutions.
Yes, ancient.
Get on those blades.
It's the way to go.
Just pop in, brink.
Dude, it's either the 80s or the 90s, the Marine Corps tested skateboards for like urban warfare stuff to like be fast.
Yeah.
Didn't work out because if you hit a rock, you just ate shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of rubble.
But there's
in an
there's
urban war
pictures
environment.
of like 90s era Marines with skateboards like practicing and trying to see if that works for like close quarters combat.
That's why the Nordic countries are so good at the Winter Olympics. They have the ski and shoot events.
Yeah.
They've just been doing that their
Yep.
whole lives.
That's
And
that's
generation
what
after
the military
generation.
trains for
yeah.
skiing and shooting.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
So Hollins eventually gets out of being a POW when the war ends. Serves again with the Commodore during the Second Barbary War. On June 17th, 1815, they encounter an Algerian squadron commanded by the infamous pirate Rais Hamadou. They killed Hamadou and captured his ship. Decatur picked up the pirate's commander's sword and gave it to Hollins for his actions.
Hell yeah. So you're gonna just be cutting rebels down with a Muslim pirate sword? Just
That's
like
the coolest thing.
The curviest sword you've ever seen in your life.
Yep.
Do you think I'm hyping up a Union soldier or a Confederate soldier?
Well, you said Baltimore, so I lean Union on that. But oh boy, he went Confederate. Look, Maryland was a border state. A
Yeah.
lot of slaves there.
We're going into the backstory of 2 Confederate soldiers.
Okay.
He then took command of the Susquehanna in the Mediterranean Sea. When he learned of the Civil War's outbreak on May 15th, 1861, he steamed his ship back to Boston, where he resigned his commission.
I will say, choosing the Confederate Navy is choosing to play on hard. Because they didn't have one.
That's why you steal pirate ships, I guess.
Yeah.
And just make it work.
Yeah, like they had like that one ironclad, but like the rest of one of the reasons we won the Civil War really is just because
We had a navy.
yeah, we were the only side with a navy.
Yeah.
It really helped a lot. Like they were kind of fucked from the jump.
Maybe they were inspired by like a John Paul Jones.
It's the only remote way they could have done navy stuff, and that's really what the Merrimack was, the first ironclad. Just one. They were like they couldn't even do it with a wooden ship. They're like, we gotta just put metal on something.
They had a little submarine just popping around.
Yeah, it didn't do much.
Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It struck fear. That's it.
It was not accepted by the U.S. Navy, and he was ordered to be arrested. In the midst of confusion, Hollins escaped and joined the Confederacy. Richard Thomas Jr. was born on October 27, 1833, in southern Maryland. His family was big in Maryland politics, and Richard Jr. was an excellent sailor, marksman, and skilled horseman. He attended the U.S. Military Academy in 1850 and left after 1 year before going to California to survey government land.
Now, I know this didn't happen, but I wish it had, is that he was in a naval battle, and being both a skilled sailor and horseman, they boarded a ship, and he was on horseback leading his troops from boat to boat.
Yeah.
He jumped the horse
Yeah.
onto another boat.
Just like a Civil War, like Fast and the Furious, like flying the car from one building into the windows of another type of thing.
Dude, that's like the, I think it's 1795, the Battle of like Texel or Trexel, something like that, the French versus the Dutch. It's the first ever and like only time a cavalry ever like beat a navy. That's because the Dutch ships were just frozen in the harbor.
Hell yeah.
And the French were like, oh, yeah, we like put cloth over the hooves of the horses and snuck in there and raided them. And the Dutch were like, yeah, we just gave up because what can we do?
What are you going to do?
The whole
I guess
written by the victor thing.
the thing, too, is like as long as the cavalry doesn't charge at the side with the cannons,
yeah.
you know, if you go at the front or the back, there's still like a couple cannons on the front and back, but nothing major.
Yeah.
You're fine.
That's like how like they're like, oh, yeah, we stormed their ships. And the Dutch were like, we gave up. We couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we didn't.
So technically a cavalry beat a navy once.
Richard Jr.'s next stop was China during the Taiping Rebellion, where he helped fight pirates and rebels for the Qing dynasty. He then became extremely enthralled by the exploits of Giuseppe Garibaldi during the Uruguayan Civil War and the wars of Italy's unification.
Garibaldi is their George Washington, sort of, I guess. Didn't last long.
No.
Guess Mussolini swoops in there.
Thomas went to Italy in 1859 to join Garibaldi's Red Shirts, but instead he became a lieutenant in the Imperial Zouave during the French invasion of Italy. So he gets caught up with the French.
On the other side?
I imagine he's on Garibaldi's side.
Okay, then they were
With the French,
Then
though.
they were probably a republic at the time, because monarchists typically would look out for other monarchs.
I don't think he's inspired by a man and then goes directly to the opposition.
Sounds like he's just looking for a fight.
Kinda.
What? Like literally, he's fighting to put down rebels in China, and then goes to Italy and is like, "Rebels, hell yeah!"
Dude, but Giuseppe could just, speak to his heart.
I guess.
Giuseppe just sounds like a guy that's working a gelato cart outside of, the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, I can't take that person seriously at all.
You're not a serious person.
It's the Italian equivalent of like every race or every ethnicity, I should say, has it. Like if you meet like a genuine Mexican guy named Juan.
I was going to say Pedro.
Or Pedro.
I can't take a Pedro seriously.
Right. Or like, I don't even know what an Irish would be, like Patrick O'Patricky or something. Like, you know what I mean?
or
like,
just Mick.
Yeah. Or a German guy named Hans. You're like, no.
Yeah.
It's too on the nose.
No.
The Second Italian War of Independence was fought between the French Empire and the Kingdom of Sardinia and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. While serving in the Imperial Zouave, Richard Thomas fell in love with a French lady who later died in his arms. He mourned her and even changed his name in her honor and became Richard Thomas Zarvona,
He took her name?
I guess.
Cuck.
Yeah.
You know anyone who's done that? Who's hyphened his wife's last name?
It's
And
not
she
even a
hyphened his
hyphen
last
name. He just Thomas became his middle name and Zarvona became
I've
his
only
last
seen
name.
the hyphen on Facebook. I don't know if they go by it, but I have some friends that have both names on their Facebook profile.
I have a couple friends, not close friends, who've like done that, and I'm just like, come on.
Yeah.
Just keep. She doesn't want to take your name, I guess. Fine, but just keep it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to,
Yeah.
go above and beyond.
Yeah. You could have made the easy, normal choice.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
I've seen like growing up, football players having like both their parents hyphen names on the back of their jerseys.
Right.
I'm like, that's cool. And then you see someone get married and have a hyphen name, like not as cool, dude.
There's just
get buried,
easier ways to show that you have no say in the relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even against this, but if you are inclined to say that a dude who gets pegged is problematically not in charge of that relationship, wherever you think pegging is, put that like 100 feet below it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would rather get pegged than take a woman's last name.
Yeah, because that's your soul getting pegged.
That's fucking great.
That's generational.
The generational pegging.
Richard Thomas Zarvona returned to Maryland to join the Confederacy.
By the way, I want to go back to what we just talked about for a second. If you're on the fence about doing that and you really don't want to, but you're kind of like trying to figure out a way to argue with your wife, take her to your grandfather's grave with a bag. Don't tell her what's in the bag. Then, when you get there, your paternal grandfather, open the bag, pull out a just gratuitous strap-on. The biggest thing you've ever seen in your life. Something that could never fit inside of a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And say, here you go. Fuck his grave. That's what you're doing. Fuck his grave.
Spit on a bag.
If you want my name, if you want your name on my body, fuck my grandpa's grave. Like fucking
no lube.
No, not what do you need it for?
Well, I don't know.
What was
Some
that
type
movie?
of symbolic.
Yeah, Saltburn, Barry Keoghan, fuck the grave. Fuck his grave. And I'll do it. Because that's what you're asking. So just do it. Put your words into actions. And if that doesn't work, then I guess just take it. Take the name. But that should send a message.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm done.
He wanted to steal the USS Pawnee to terrorize the Chesapeake because obviously the Confederacy, again, doesn't really have a navy.
Zero Navy. So that is actually one interesting thing about the Confederacy, because we've talked about this before. We've never done an episode on it. But leading up to the Civil War, Jefferson Davis was, I think, SecDef, or maybe Secretary of State. Whatever he was in charge. He was like the cabinet position, basically in charge of the military. I don't know if SecDef existed yet. Oh, no, it would have been Secretary of War. I think it was Secretary of War.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But whatever he was, he's kind of in charge of the military. And he made sure to put people he knew, he was like, it's coming. And he made sure to put people he knew would go over to the South in charge of important forts that were in the South and all this stuff. You know what I mean? And they just, to my knowledge, forgot to do that with the Navy. There is a different Secretary of Navy, though. There was a Secretary of Navy, so maybe that's why. But, like, they did a really good job, and Buchanan just wasn't paying attention, didn't give a fuck, which is one of the reasons he's the worst president of all time.
Or actually, like, let it slide.
Which is even worse. And even though he's from Pennsylvania, but he was still, like, a
Southern sympathizer.
Yeah. But, like, they did a good job of taking a lot of arsenals and forts and stuff like that, like having it ready to go, having a guy there to just unlock the doors and surrender the troops and all this shit. But it just like didn't happen with the Navy. Like they didn't get a fleet that was like based in Norfolk, Virginia or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just didn't get a lot of that. It's just odd. I need to look into that more. But my recollection off the top of my head is they did a good job with the Army and just like forgot that there was water surrounding their country.
Keep it on land.
It's a big oversight.
They're like, you imagine like you start a Civil War and you're like, oh fuck, Oh, we forgot the Air Force.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. We'll probably be fine.
He goes to Richmond to meet with Governor John Letcher, and during the meeting, Letcher thought that Zarvona was somewhat eccentric, but saw some merit to his plan and promoted him to lieutenant colonel and gave him $1,000 to execute his scheme.
See, this is why they lost the war. Huh. Zarvona, that's an interesting name. Where'd you get it? I took it from my dead wife.
Wasn't his wife either.
I took it from a dead woman I loved. Huh. Have you ever thought about just being a private in the infantry?
Just like a French woman he had a fling with.
Yeah.
Okay, I did name my last car off of a chick I met at the airport like a decade ago.
It's an object.
Is that the same?
No, it's an object. That's fine.
Zarvona then met with Commander Matthew Fontaine Murray and Captain George Hollins, who I talked about a little bit earlier. They reviewed Zarvona's concept and agreed that it could work.
I don't know how Maryland stayed in the Union. Like, I know how Missouri did, and I kind of remember how Kentucky did, like all the border states and stuff like that. But I wonder if Maryland was just fully at gunpoint.
Yeah.
Because if Maryland had got over to the South, then the capital is surrounded by the Confederacy. Like, I wonder if Lincoln was just like, kill anyone in Maryland.
That speaks out.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest things I ever like noticed was when I lived in Indiana for a couple years. That was the most Confederate flags I've ever seen in my life,
So fucking
and
ironic.
I never understood it.
Oh, I can actually give you a good...
I didn't know what they did in the war, but it was very strange to see.
It was a state. It was in the
that.
Union, and it gave a lot of troops to the Union. But I can tell you maybe why that happened. We did an episode on how Notre Dame football fought the Klan.
Mm-hmm.
The Klan.
The Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
That's how they got the nickname.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They got in a fist fight with the Klan.
That's cool.
Because the Klan hated Catholics, right? So, Indiana was the biggest KKK state in the United States in the 20s.
I'm sure it still is. A lot of racists. Yeah.
So that's might be why they've adopted that to a large extent, potentially.
Whoa. That's wild.
Yeah,
I would see. I lived in the middle of nowhere, so almost every house
yeah.
had either in their garage or just hanging up on their driveway. And I didn't understand.
Which is funny because I feel like rural Indianans back in the Civil War probably hated slavery because they were doing like non-slave agriculture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
But by the way, another fun fact about that: a lot of people contribute like, "Oh, the KKK, they were all Democrats or whatever," which is in the South is true, 100%. But for whatever reason, in Indiana, it was the Republican Party. Like the Republicans in Indiana were that was the KKK affiliation. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, it was just an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, fun.
Zarvona would go to Baltimore and purchase weapons and recruit men for the venture. They would book passage on the steamer St. Nicholas.
How dare they?
I know.
This is just a lot of callbacks to a lot of episodes here.
A little bit.
Yeah, because we did an episode on St. Nick's bones and his grave or something. I did it.
This packet boat had a regular run from Baltimore to Washington, D.C., with stops at various landings to pick up goods and passengers. Meanwhile, Hollins was to secure a group of Confederate naval officers and engineers to meet the plotters along the trip. Once all were aboard, they would take the St. Nicholas by surprise. The Confederates were to then pick soldiers from the 1st Tennessee. Once reinforced, the Confederates would use some type of trick to capture the Pawnee.
That's cool.
Gotta
They're
keep it
gonna capture the boat, take it hostage, and then
These are
load up.
operators.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
These are the first SEALs.
Yeah, the SEAL,
Literally.
The SEAL team. Hey, should we make? I know we shut down our store, but should we reopen it and you know how like everyone like our employers, for example, make like hyper patriotic shit.
Mm-hmm.
Should we just make hyper patriotic shit, but for all of America's enemies, like an ISIS shirt that says like Club and SEALs since 2011?
I mean, I'm
Yes.
just not going to open up the store for that now.
I support this. As a veteran, yes.
I'm fine with you making the shirts, but you're going to have to sit on that inventory, and I'm
Yeah,
not
alright.
going to contribute.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's like a Taliban flag. Give us 50 years.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like come and take it, but it's I don't even know what to tell. Like it's just a mud hut.
Yeah.
Or something.
It's a goat with like C4 strapped to it.
Yeah. A goat in a dress is actually what it'll be. Come and take it.
On the evening of June 28th, 1861, about 60 passengers booked their passage, including a very stylish young lady speaking only broken English with a thick French accent.
Oh, no.
Oh, dude.
He's getting trigged.
What? No.
Her name was Madame Laforce.
Great name.
Oh, I thought we were going like with a trans. Like he disguised himself as a hot babe.
We'll get to that. We'll figure out who Madame Laforce is.
Okay.
She had several heavy, large trunks with her that were going to help her start a business in Washington because, of course.
What? Yeah, buy low. Great time to buy property in D.C. if you want to start a business.
Yeah.
When the steamer departed Baltimore, she emerged from her stateroom and flirted shamelessly. Fluent French gushed from her lips. She radiated charm. A veil covered her eyes and cheeks, but not her reddened lips. She tossed her fan about and cocked her head at an angle toward any gentleman who occupied her attention at the moment. She meandered from salon to dance hall, flirting as she went from ship officer to ship officer.
Dirty girl.
I can do this right now. I just need a veil.
Yeah.
Now, Captain Kerwin's take of everything was, I didn't like the appearance of the French woman at all. She sat right next to me at dinner and so close that our legs touched. I thought she looked mighty queer. That young woman behaved...
Just means weird. Just means weird.
That young woman behaved so scandalously that all the other women on the boat were in a terrible state.
They were just like, fuck this dirty whore. I mean, shit don't change, right? One chick is flirting with all the dudes, and all the dudes are like, yeah, oh, you're so funny. Oh, man, she's so cool. And all the other girls are like, this is bad.
You bring an
Fuck
outside
her.
girl to any group with women that know each other, and they hate them immediately.
Hell yeah.
Women hate other women.
Yeah.
They never
Meanwhile,
support each other.
with dudes, it's like, what's up? You like football? What team do you root for? Oh, cool.
Yeah, you connect over
Yeah, it's
the
like,
smallest thing. And
Those
you're
guys
just
suck,
boys
but
for
so do my
life.
team, so cool, we're
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
It is said that one crew member, utterly mesmerized by the lady, leaned over for a kiss, but was caught with a hand slap on his cheek. St. Nicholas continued its run toward the Potomac. About midnight, several men, including an elderly gentleman with a cane, came aboard at Point Lookout, Maryland. By this time, one of the volunteers, George Watts, noted that none of the men acted as if they knew each other. All our boys gathered about that frisky French lady. She looked at me as I came in. Lord, I knew those eyes in a minute. It was the colonel. He then shed his bonnet, wig, and dress and stepped forth in a brilliant new Zouave uniform.
I need to see a picture of this guy. What's his name again? Which one is it?
So this is the guy that took the woman's last name.
What's it? Just give me the name, because I got to see a picture. If he doesn't look feminine in the least.
It's Richard Thomas Jr., but it's Richard Thomas Zarvona.
This is me in my hot dog suit with the veil trying to flirt with dudes, and everyone's like, that girl's crazy.
I don't know if there are pictures.
There's probably not photos.
Damn it.
Yeah.
The first one that came up, I was like, oh my God, but it's not. It's not him. It shows Hollins. Damn it. And I just really wanted to see.
So the men quickly opened the trunks and found them loaded, to the gills with just guns.
Good to go.
And they
Those are big trunks. Those are big ass guns.
they take them, go to the main deck. They're the captain now.
Dude, this is literally the first American SEALs, besides the air part, so cells. But
That was a scene in Munich as well. The Steven Spielberg movie about the Mossad
I couldn't tell you.
killing all the Palestinians for the Olympic slaughter or whatever. It's like Daniel Craig and someone else just walk up to this group of Palestinians in drag, and they're like, and then they get the Palestinians are like, oh, what up, girl? And they get closer, and Daniel Craig's just like,
Cool.
it's a pretty sweet.
Yeah, you
scene.
can hide some guns underneath those dresses.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
As Zarvona's men raced onto the deck, the old man with the cane slipped off his wig, and it was none other than Captain George Hollins, who took over command of the St. Nicholas. He steamed the ship to the mouth of the Coen River on Virginia's side of the Potomac, where he picked up about 30 Tennessee infantrymen. With these reinforcements, Hollins headed up the Potomac in search of the 10-gun USS Pawnee. But the gunboat had already returned to Washington. The other vessels of the Potomac had attempted to capture the Confederate water batteries commanded by Colonel Daniel Ruggles at Mathis Point, Virginia. The squadron leader, Commander James Harmon Ward of the USS Thomas Freeborn, had sent 2 landing parties that had been repulsed. As Ward was sighting a shell gun to cover the Union withdrawal, he was mortally wounded by a sniper.
This in particular, or anything like this, would be a sweet movie because, like, our only view of the Civil War is, like, giant engagements.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You only think about, like, Antietam and Gettysburg and Vicksburg, stuff like that. But, like any war, there was lots of, like, small unit action like that, like raiding a dock or whatever to, like, steal one boat where people died. Like, it was a small unit, small arms fire action where people died, but it was with, flintlock rifled muskets instead of, today's small arms and shit like. Yeah. But it still happened. It's fucking fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Ward's death prompted both USS Thomas Freeborn and the USS Reliance to return to Washington so that Ward could have a state funeral as well. So the St. Nicholas was in search of Union warships without success because everybody had already packed up shop and
gone back to a safe harbor.
Yeah. Hollins realized that the missing steamer would soon be discovered by the Unionists, and an overwhelming force would try to recapture the ship. He took the St. Nicholas out of the Potomac and into the Chesapeake Bay. The Confederates came across a large brig, the Monticello, loaded with 35,000 bags of coffee, headed from Brazil to Baltimore. Hollins sent this ship to Fredericksburg. 1 hour later, St. Nicholas took the Mary Pierce, filled with ice. Lieutenant Robert D. Minor was placed in command of this vessel, and he sailed to Fredericksburg. The steamer was by now running low on coal. However, they conveniently came across a coal ship and towed the Margaret to Fredericksburg as well. St. Nicholas was later commissioned into Confederate service as the CSS Rappahannock.
Rappahannock, yeah. Right.
So it captures like 3 merchant ships, gets coffee, ice, and coal.
Not a bad haul.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I mean, and also they get the ships, which they have
they get the ships,
none
yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Not really.
So they're building up their navy.
Yeah. Because I think like another big problem with the Navy part for the South was that like almost like all the major ports were in the North.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. In fact, New Orleans was probably the biggest southern port, if I had to guess off the top of my head.
When Hollins and Zarvona reached Fredericksburg, a ball was given in their honor. They then moved on to Richmond, where even more celebrations were held. George Hollins was promoted shortly after the capture of the St. Nicholas to flag officer and sent to New Orleans to command the Confederate naval forces. He gained additional laurels with his October 11th, 1861 victory during the Battle of the Head of Passes. Richard Thomas Zarvona was not as fortunate. Even though Zarvona was called a great hero throughout the South for this plan, he was labeled a pirate in the North. Federal forces in Maryland were on the lookout for the French lady's next exploit.
You can't whip that out again.
No.
That's one and done.
Yeah.
It's a cool nickname, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the French lady.
Yeah.
Pow!
Zarvona attempted to come up with a scheme to take over the Bay steamer Mary Washington, but he was captured on July 9th, 1861, when the steamer reached the dock at Fort McHenry. There was talks of hanging Colonel Zarvona as a pirate, but instead he was imprisoned at Fort Lafayette in New York Harbor. He was ultimately exchanged in April of 1863. By this time, Zarvona was suffering from like a severe nervous condition because when he was a prisoner of war for the Union, he was in like tight spaces.
Yeah.
They kept him in, not the best prison.
He was dealing with POW stuff.
So he goes to Europe to regain his health. Doesn't really work. Ends up back in Maryland, and he is kind of living the rest of his life with like nervous breakdowns, and poor health at his brother's house. He ultimately dies March 17th, 1875 in Maryland. Governor John Letcher of Virginia wrote a memorial in his honor. Colonel Zarvona was an extraordinary man. If any man has ever lived, of whom it can be said he was insensible to fear, Zarvona was undoubtedly that man.
Well, he died of fear, so.
Yeah.
There was nary a cleverer man who fought to keep slaves.
He was somewhat eccentric, but his eccentricities did not render him disagreeable. On the contrary, tended to inspire regard for and excite interest in him. I don't like how they talk back then. I just don't.
They talked dumb as hell.
They're like quite a bit more eloquent. It's a very odd like way things have gone. Like much worse literacy and spelling even for the literate, but like much more eloquent somehow. They're like, look, only 8 people know how to read and write. If I'm going to write something down, it's going to be pretty.
Yeah, but
make
even
it
the people
hard
that
as fuck
didn't
for
know how to
everyone
read
else.
or write, they would be writing back to their sweetie back home.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, my dearest Virginia.
That's one of my favorite stand-up bits as a kid. I think it wasn't Greg Giraldo. It was somebody else, but he was like, people used to write so beautifully. And if you read like a letter home from Desert Storm, this is even before we invaded Iraq. If you read a letter home from Desert Storm, it's like, Dear Sandra, it's hot as fuck here. My balls keep sticking to my legs.
I miss your titties.
Yeah. Like it's just the dumbest shit. Yeah.
But back in the Civil War, be like, I want to caress your breast.
That'd probably get you in jail.
Yeah, maybe.
Can't write the word breast.
You're right.
I told my girlfriend, like, before I went to Afghanistan, like, oh, yeah, I'll write you letters because it's, like, romantic, you know, Dear John and shit.
Yeah.
You know? I texted her on Facebook Messenger once a week telling her I was still alive. That was it. Never wrote a letter, never said anything besides, like, hey, I'm good. That was about it the whole time. Didn't have a single conversation with her, anyone in my family. My mom would be the same way. Like, every few days I text my mom saying I'm alive.
Yeah.
That was it.
Did she appreciate that? Hey, not dead.
No, I don't know. Maybe.
She's like,
I never
you
asked my
can't
mom
put it
about
another
it.
way. You're my child.
The girlfriend, the ex, I couldn't tell. We broke up as soon as I got back, so I have no
Fair enough.
idea. But
That was
I never
nice of
asked
her.
my mom, like, hey, were you worried about me? Because, like, I was just chilling. You know, I was
Yeah.
on YouTube a lot.
That
you
was
know?
nice of her to not dump you during the deployment.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the same as like dumping, your boyfriend with cancer
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Like you're like, just gonna have to stick this out till he
It was
dies.
literally the next weekend,
Yeah.
maybe 2 weekends after I drove up to see her. We broke up, and I was like, all right. Technically, my bad, I guess, because we were, at the time, too, it was my longest relationship just because I was gone for so long.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew her for maybe a month in person total, you know?
Sweet. I'm sure she was loyal.
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you were only dating for a month before you deployed, she's got the green light to break
Yeah.
up if she feels like it.
Yep.
You're
exactly what
not
happened.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just made you feel good going
It's
off.
also why it felt weird, because, like, I asked her out, and then 3 days later, like, hey, do you want to go to Afghanistan tomorrow? And I was like, yeah. And so I had to be like, hey, I know we just been dating for like 3 weeks. I'm going for an unknown amount of time. And I would just text her once a week. I'm good. That was literally it.
It's like getting engaged to somebody with stage 4 cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how this ends.
Yeah. Wait,
And-
what did you do in Afghanistan again?
Nothing. I was in the infantry. We just like hung out.
What?
Just throwing the
Yeah.
football. Yeah.
You were in the infantry and you didn't do anything?
Well, dude, the war was kind of over. It was like 2015.
Okay.
And so we would like help out like SF dudes and like drive them around while they did cool stuff.
Okay.
Because like, I was attached to like a whole SF unit, SEALs, Green Berets, Delta guys, you name it. And they'd walk up and be like, "You guys want to kill someone today?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they'd be like, "Cool, hop in." And we just we would just drive them around while they did the stuff.
Was it like Jarhead where you had a shot and they called it off?
No, nothing like that.
Never fired your gun?
No, we fired guns. We weren't allowed to sometimes. You couldn't shoot a 50 cal inside the city, which was weird.
Huh.
They're like, there's rules to that?
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Anytime anyone wants to talk shit on the U.S. military, like, no one else has those rules.
Dude, the British, the fucking British, they had some SAS guys talking shit to me, and they're like, your rules of engagement suck. You guys can't do anything unless you're getting shot at. And we're like, thanks. the British are making fun of us. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's true. Like if they point a rifle at you, you technically have to like watch them do it until they shoot, and then you're like, now I can legally do this.
I think we have to handicap the war to make it kind of fair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what it is. It's like you know the famous Battle of the Sexes tennis match, the one everyone talks about because it's the one that a woman won.
Yeah, we're a 45-point favorite.
Billie
Like, we
Jean,
need to
yeah.
give them.
The Billie Jean King one. Well, there was a bunch of other ones that they don't talk about where the dudes won, like a bunch. And one of them was Martina Navratilova playing maybe Bjorn Borg, who was elite back in the day.
None of this matters.
And he got only second serves. So if he didn't hit the first, if he didn't hit his serve in, it was an immediate point against him. And she got to use the double lines. So she got a bigger court. He wiped her. Wiped her. Anyway, that's America and Afghanistan, apparently.
Yeah.
What are they going to do to us?
Yeah, I know.
We have air superiority. We have every superiority.
Yeah, the biggest threat was just like IEDs and stuff.
Yeah.
And like vehicle bombs. And then like Afghan army guys just shooting you on accident or on purpose.
Right. Feels like a lot of them were on.
The biggest threat was like being on base and like having an Afghan guy walk past you and you're like, oh, fuck.
Or getting Pat Tillman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whew. That's my favorite Family Guy bit. Do you remember that one? He repeats this thing over and over again, but they're like, hey, we're going to go attack the enemy. And he's like, we're going to go over the hill and kill Pat Tillman. And they're like, no, we're going to go flank the enemy and then kill Pat Tillman. And he just says that like 10 times in a row.
Jesus Christ.
It was amazing.
So, yeah, this was just kind of a interesting story, I thought, about two Confederate officers that scheme up a plan to hijack a passenger ship to then ultimately try to take over another gunship.
It's a little special forces op
Yeah.
in the Civil War.
And a little cross-dressing action.
Yeah.
Madame LaForce.
It's not gay if it's for your country.
Yep.
It's a solid name.
Madame LaForce. Yeah, that should have been her.
That should have been a dead giveaway.
No one.
But I didn't even realize that
people
was
were
the
too
name.
naive and sweet back then. Like now, if you're like, my name is Madame, like, what's death in French?
Firebringer.
Yeah, my name is Madame Mailed. Your name is Madame Death? Let me just check your hair and genitals real quick.
Mhm.
Darth Vader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although Lady Death was the that sniper for the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
She had a
What
lot
did
of
she
kills.
do? Just killed the
Lot
enemy
of
the whole
kills,
time. Yeah.
You got to feel pretty clownish or, pretty silly if you're one of those sailors that went in for a kiss with Madame LaForce.
Oh my God, they all wanted to fuck her.
She was being so flirty.
By the way, let's talk about that for a second. He didn't need to do any of that.
He went above and beyond
Yeah.
He
the call to duty.
was having fun. And he's like the cop in South Park who poses as a hooker, but like fucks all the Johns before
Yeah.
arresting them. Like that's what this guy
Yes.
did,
Yeah, yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, his 15 boys made it on perfectly fine.
All
The
he had to
weapons
do-
are there.
And he wanted to dress up like a
Yeah,
chick.
all he had to do, he could still dress like a chick, but all he had to do was be like, I am exhausted. I'm going to go to my room and sleep. Okay, Madame LaForce, you have a good time. Have a good trip. Happy to have you aboard. And then that's it. That's it. I mean, that is it. Instead, he spends hours flirting, canoodling, being so flirty, he's pissing off every other woman there.
Rubbing legs with the captain.
Like,
Trying to jack him off under the table.
yeah, there's a lot of questions, far more questions than answers.
Maybe it's a confidence boost before you go into battle.
He's getting into character.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Like he needs that support to be like, oh yeah, I can do this.
He's
That's
like,
probably what it is.
I'm not missing. I'm
Yeah.
just not like in Ocean's 11 if they all just like played like craps and won all night and then just pulled out guns.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like he could have just been like George Hollins being an old man.
Yeah, here's the plan is they're like, all right, we're just gonna pose as passengers, normal guys. We're gonna start a business. We'll bring our trunks on, and then he's like, no. I'm gonna wear a dress. I'm gonna put on lipstick,
I'm gonna have an accent.
and I'm gonna have every single guy on that boat wanting to eat my figurative pussy.
My box.
Yeah. And they're like, but we don't, that seems like you're going to get a lot of attention. And I know you, I guess, speak French, but you're not a woman. You have a man's voice, a man's body, man's feet, an Adam's apple. This seems like a horrible idea. Trust me, it'll work.
It's the Las Vegas shooter, but with more steps. Take these trunks up to my hotel.
Telling you,
He was paying homage to the woman that died in his arms in Italy.
The random lady.
yeah, they fucked like twice.
Probably even fuck her, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. It seems like a horrible plan that worked out incredibly well.
And honestly, it didn't really work that well. They got 4 boats.
Yeah, he didn't do a whole lot.
Kind of circumstance, right?
They're all merchant boats, though. What are you going to do with merchant boats?
They need any boat.
I guess transportation.
They need any boat. Yeah, well, they had a big thing of like getting supplies into the South was literally blockade running.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anything you can get, you got to fucking take it at that point. Because
Yeah,
again,
you can't be too
they
picky, I
just
suppose.
forgot about the water.
Yeah.
They forgot about it. Which is why one of the first things the Union did after they blockaded the entire South, people forget, like people act like, oh man, the South was fucking wiping the North the whole time until Gettysburg. Not true. We were killing in the West. Like Shiloh was 1862. We were doing well in the West the whole time pretty much. But the blockade was a problem from the beginning. And B, the Americans made it a priority to be like, let's take their one good port, which is New Orleans.
Yeah.
And we took it in 1862. Like, just fucking came in and fucking smashed them and controlled New Orleans for the rest of from 1862 on, controlled New Orleans.
Yep.
So,
You know who was in charge of our Navy at the time?
who?
Our boy Gideon Wells.
Oh, hell yeah. He knew what he was doing.
So maybe he wasn't compromised by Jefferson Davis.
Clearly.
Yeah. Or they didn't even try to attempt to.
Yeah. They're like, fuck. We're not gonna get a Navy. But yeah, like they made it. They did a pretty good job of prioritizing strategic things at the beginning of the Civil War. The Union did. The only problem really in the East, the primary theater, was execution. But in Navy and in the West, no problem. No problems from the start. No problems.
I like to think of like there's a Confederate blockade somewhere, and the Union ships stressing out about passing through it. And as they get closer, they just realize, oh, that's an ice ship.
Yeah.
that's a coal ship. But they're like, oh, God, we're about to go through this blockade. And it's just merchant ships.
With
and
like 8 cannons on
they're
them.
like, hey, you can't pass here. Fuck. All right, they passed.
Yeah,
You know?
God damn it.
Nothing they can do about it.
the main thing defending New Orleans wasn't even boats. It was that there was a fort further up the river, basically at the mouth of where the Mississippi hits the Gulf of Mexico. I think maybe Fort Moultrie. I don't remember off the top of my head. But that was the main thing protecting New Orleans from the Navy. It was just a land fort. And the Navy came in and just fucking smashed it.
Yeah.
And then got to New Orleans. This is one of my favorite things in the Civil War is they got to New Orleans. They didn't even really bother to invade the city. They were just like, surrender or we'll blow the levees.
Yeah.
Like, we'll just shoot our cannons at the fucking levees and then anchor in the French Quarter, you fucks. New Orleans is like, God, all right, God damn it. Well,
You got us.
yeah.
So that is our story for today. What did you boys learn?
Everything. I learned that this guy was playing out his kinks on the battlefield. There was more to that motivation than mere.
Yeah, he just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
It was a fetish.
Like, absolutely superfluous.
He was getting off, just being in somebody else's skin.
Yeah, like a Dennis Reynolds.
How far did he go?
His hard on just poking through the dress.
Yeah, we only know the story that was told. We don't.
How many sailors did he jack off?
Like, he might have blown a sailor.
Just for the sake of the story, I think we can confirm he blew
He blew a sailor. He
at least
absolutely
3 sailors.
blew a sailor.
He was getting gangbanged.
Yeah.
Because here's
the
the thing,
poop
actually.
deck.
Here's why it would be smart to blow as many sailors as possible if you're this guy. Because then, if someone accuses you of not being a woman, 20 people, for their own self-preservation.
Like, no, that's a woman.
No,
that's
that's
a
a chick. What are you talking about?
I didn't fuck a dude.
Yeah, that's a chick. It's obviously a chick. They have to. Like, it doesn't even if no one else knows that they got blown, they, for their own peace of mind, will demand that everyone agree he was a woman. So if he was a true strategist, a true clever, proto-Confederate Navy SEAL, which I believe he was, he sucked a lot of dick that night.
Yeah, I think I learned the origins of why they say the Navy is gay. This is where that comes from.
The Confederates, though.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't count.
They're the first, dude.
At one point, they're just like, you got to stop. It's time to open the guns. He's like, just 2 more.
Like, we could have taken the ship over within 5 minutes.
Yeah, hours ago we could have taken the ship. But you're
playing out your sick fantasy, you're role playing.
But also, they really kind of could have, like, the moment they got on the boat.
Yeah.
Just taking it over
As soon as they take off.
Yeah.
All right, like, stay in your room, fan yourself, whatever. You don't have to actually be so flirtatious.
This guy's playing shit out. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And he blew at least 5 sailors.
I just like that the captain could just, sniff it on him. Just like, there's something about this woman I don't like.
Yeah. Maybe it's
mustache.
her huge feet and the fact that
She's got like 5 o'clock shadow.
yeah.
Hairy hands and shit.
But, it kind of passes for a French woman back then. They don't know.
That is true. It kind of does, yeah. You don't have to shave your armpits or anything.
They probably hear stories. They're like, oh, a hairy woman.
But also, your average, bottom of the barrel sailor, especially a river sailor.
Oh, you got to think he was like shaving his legs and stuff for this role.
No, not back then.
Maybe a little. Because, women don't have the hair we have.
That's true.
He had to do something.
Yeah. I mean, he's wearing a full-length dress, I assume.
Yeah.
And if he's just doing mouth work, they're not going to get to his body.
You're right.
I mean, women might have the leg hair we have.
Do you think he wore like a
I've
corset?
never seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, do I think he did? Yeah, he went the full 9.
His hips were popping, dude. He had birthing hips, dude.
He did everything. Everything. He was a woman that
Little
night.
blush on the cheeks.
Yeah.
Yep. Lipstick.
What's
They did say he had
worse?
red lips, right?
What's worse, him doing this and going all out as a French woman or taking a French woman's name?
Taking the name.
I am now actually of the opinion that he longed to assume her identity. This guy wanted to steal this woman's identity. I think he killed her, actually.
Was in his arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did die in his arms.
Hmm.
It's another way to say strangled.
Yeah, I mean, strangling is dying in someone's arms.
Yeah. So he killed her, dreamed of being her. As soon as he saw her, dreamed of being her.
Wanted to live a day in her skin.
Finally got his chance. His mental breakdown actually began when he realized he could no longer live as her and must go back to his life as a naval officer. Yeah.
You got to look out for the French lady taking boats.
Yeah. Yeah. And for one magical night,
That was his peak.
for the only night of his life he ever truly lived, he was her.
Madame LaForce.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's build a statue for her.
Dude, if
you know?
I...
Yep. Statue with a bulge.
If we're bringing back Confederate statues, let's bring back Madame LaForce.
We should...
Build the statue.
Wait, we should actually, go to a small southern town and be like, fuck the woke PC bullshit. We want to raise funds to build a Confederate statue for this person, and say it's him too.
Yeah.
And then when the statue comes up, it's just a man in a dress with a raging erection.
Next, okay, so we reopened the softcore site.
Like, what's this gay shit? Well, this is
Full
a
camo.
Confederate hero. This
What
is
he
Richard Thomas Zarvona.
That's what he did.
We do a full camo shirt, right, for the softcore website. Confederate flag, giant. And it just says LaForce underneath it. Softcore history merch is back.
No one will know. We said we'd do patriotic gear for all of America's enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I really want to get a petition going for this statue.
Yes.
I want a Confederate statue of Madame LaForce.
Full dress. Again, needs to be
a musket.
erect with 2 Union sailors, just like, you know that Teddy Roosevelt statue that got taken down where the black dude and the Native American were next to him as he rode a horse? This one is like the same thing. It's Madame LaForce with a sailor in each arm, and they're just like groping him. Again, but they're looking up at her face and those beautiful red lips. Huge erection protruding out of the... They don't notice.
Because I want a redneck to have to defend that statue.
Because one of the big arguments is like, hey, we can't erase history. Well, I dare you to use that line now. Or I dare you to go against that line now.
Let's see how much you really care about
The
these
first
statues.
Confederate seal. Like, yeah, you gotta have a statue.
Yeah.
Who's today's Hitler?
The North. Obviously.
I'm going to go with this guy for killing a French lady and stealing her identity. And also for just doing an overcomplicated plan.
Yeah, you could have just been an old guy like Hollins.
Yeah. Well, he could have even been the French lady and just been like, I must retire to my room. And then
you roll out the guns.
immediately.
You don't have to go to every guy there.
And I guarantee
Be a
you,
little hoe.
no one in his unit was like, let him cook. No one. They were all like,
Let's see how this plays out, guys.
what is happening? When are we going to do this?
Oh my God, he's grabbing his dick.
Every minute we are not taking over the ship is another minute they could realize what the fuck we are.
They're worried he's getting compromised.
He went all in so much that like the guy who was like what Watts, he went all in. So the guy Watts was just like, "Where's our colonel?" Where? And then he finally he de-wigs and it's like, "Holy shit!" It must have been so easy to just fool people back then.
Rubes, a lot of them. Well, we talked about on a Patreon episode the other day about how one of the biggest parts of the GDP up until like the 1850s was just lotteries. There were lotteries constantly.
Also, women were just ugly.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a handsome fella in drag might do it for them.
That's the thing.
It does it for me now. Let's be honest.
Fair enough.
They get me
if you have
sometimes.
any gay friends who do drag, suggest the name Madame LaForce.
Madame LaForce.
I got to get back into the scene. I was big into going to drag shows in Indiana because it was just fun, like rednecks doing that. I got to get into the Austin scene. I'm sure it's a lot better.
I'm sure it's vibrant.
Even better than the statue. Drag queen story hour at a Southern library. Madame LaForce.
You can't stop it. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
But they're reading pro-Confederate literature.
Yeah. I just want to see people horrifically.
I want to break everyone's brains.
Yeah. That's all I want to do. Is just glitch everyone possible.
I want everyone to be mad.
Then it's me in like a crop top and jorts with like an AR out front of the library. Like, you can't come in here and disrupt. People are going to be so confused.
Free speech, motherfucker. And actually, if anyone wants to disrupt it, accuse them of being woke.
Yeah.
Because it's pro-Confederate.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean not woke? It's a fucking drag queen there. That's a drag queen talking about the glory of the Confederate States of America.
Then you're just raising money for the statue.
Yeah, they're like, just have a stroke.
Oh, we need to make this happen. This is my goal now. I just want a Madame LaForce statue and drag queen story hour in like Birmingham, Alabama.
We got biscuits and gravy. Come on down. God, you can't stop it, dude.
Anyway, Lopez, thank you so much for risking it all coming here, having your car breakdown.
Yeah, I got to get towed out of here. I'm super excited.
Dude, we need to get like a
pay for
fucking
that.
GoFundMe for your goddamn vehicle.
Fucking for real.
Dude, it sucks. Then I got to, rent a car to go to work. I'm super excited for it, guys.
Yep. Should be fun.
I'm just glad I made it because the last 20 minutes getting here was terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, if I can just make it 6 more miles, I can at least go on the show.
And honestly, just doing this episode was worth it for the last 5 minutes that just happened.
Yeah.
We just came up with just
The greatest idea
gold.
that we've ever had.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure to check out our Patreon. We get 2 additional episodes every week, every Wednesday and Friday. And at this point, 3.5 years of evergreen content. So much, including our game of successors, which went so well.
That's what that is.
Yep.
It was terrible. And we'll never open that box again.
No. No. If you want to bring a gun next time, and we can just shoot the box.
Play a little Russian roulette. I'd
Oh,
rather
yeah.
play that than
I would rather-
Successors.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, where can the good people find you?
Yeah, Lastro Lopez on Instagram. That's it. Yep.
Peep him.
All right.
Peep his shit.
Send me money for my car.
Venmo.
Yeah, what's your Venmo?
Same thing, Lastro Lopez.
Do that.
I'm scared.
$5 a month. Join our Patreon. Get just so much unlimited content.
Everything.
We keep it going. We don't miss. We
Nope.
don't miss, baby.
Nope.
But for Rob Fox, Scott Lopez, I'm Dan Regester. You just got soft served.